Rolling Stones magazine put out their 50 worst album covers. I'm going to go through the 50. I'm going to do it pretty quickly. And then I'm going to talk about the Jack Kirby exhibit. And those are the final two things. So number 50 of the worst album covers. I didn't read why. I disagree. I really like that art. I like that cover. So for me, if it's an artistic cover, I'm probably going to disagree because I like that one. Number 49. REO Speedwagon. I always thought that cover was hilarious and it fit the band. Sleazy, hard rock. They have women dressed like cats and then there is a cat there. It is what it is, and even the album's called Nine Lives. I'm gonna say that that's tongue-in-cheek funny. I'm not gonna say that's one of the worst album covers ever. This Chuck Berry album is pretty bad. Yeah, I agree with that one. The Queen the Miracle. I think that's kind of cool and clever. When I was young, I would look at this and try to see how they merged the eyes. These two characters share that eye. I don't know, is that like one of the worst album covers ever? I don't think so. This is bad. Okay, so these two are dancing and making party music and recording or something like that as the Twin Towers are being demolished. That's bad. I think that's really in poor taste. This one is pretty bad. The yeah mosquito. I mean, look at that. That baby's got, oh, what is he? He's got something from that jar on his lips and he's getting stabbed by a mosquito in the butt. And I don't know much about that cover, but I'm gonna say that's kind of weird. I agree. I don't like that cover at all. Michael Jackson looks like Stalin or something in that like kind of statue pose. 43. The poor village people. This, I think, is hilarious. That is a really bad cover, but it's the village people. They were trying to reinvent themselves and they got the makeup and the hair and, oh, you gotta love them. I'm gonna say no. It is bad. But they're the village people. Leave them alone. The next one is, never really thought that this was a horrible album cover. Tom Petty in a record store. When I think about it, there could be so much, so many better album covers than that. But I don't think it's horrible. I don't know. What do you think about the Tom Petty just staring in a record store? Number 41, Metallica. I guess that's pretty bad. I never really thought about it. I'm so used to that cover. Yeah, but it's all black. So, yeah, that is pretty bad. Rod Stewart. An old raincoat won't ever let you down. Yeah, that doesn't look like the music that's on there at all. I'm going to say that is probably a pretty bad album cover. Sufjan Stevens. Now, I'm a big fan of his, and I actually don't have this. Would I say that is a bad album cover? It's a collage. I think that's an album cover that you could stare at for a long time, looking at all the people in there. So I guess if you would say this is a bad album cover, you'd have to say that the... Not Abbey Road. Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band has to be a bad album cover as well, because you're basically just looking at all the different faces in there. I don't think that's such a bad album cover. Brad Paisley, Time Well Wasted. So he's got some kind of Salvador Dali stuff going on there. That one's not too good. This is a surprising one. The Beatles Revolver. So it's a mixed media thing. It is freaky that they have the eyes, the real eyes and lips in the face. I don't know. It never struck me as being like awful. Okay, this one's pretty bad. Black Flag, and it's called What the? Yeah, no, that's pretty bad. I'll give them that. The Many Faces. Now, this is a bad album cover. The Many Faces of Roger. Yeah, I mean, look at that. I agree. That one's bad. Why do we need to see him in 6 different poses? God, this is hilarious. George Jones, I Want to Sing. Oh, Lord, that is pretty bad. Even though it's a cartoon, that one's really bad, George Jones. And it's I Wanta, spelled like Santa. I Wanta. Uh-oh, we're gonna see some booty. The Two Live Crew, As Nasty as They Want to Be. To me, that represents a lot of that type of rap music. I don't see why that's particularly bad. It's representative, right, of the sexism of a lot of that music. So I wouldn't say it's bad, no, because it's representative. Okay, this one's bad. Pat Kelly, Lonely Man. Is he? He's not escaped from prison, because when I saw the orange, I thought of prison uniform, because he's got a shirt and a tie, and the shirt and the tie match. I don't know. That's just such a weird cover. Yeah, that one's bad. Number 32. Oh my. Corey Feldman, Angelic to the Core. Yeah. No, that one's bad. Sorry, Corey. Ew. This Ozzy album is just weird. He's looking like something out of Marilyn Manson. I don't know about that. Yeah, I don't like that one either. Oh, this guy looks demented. Hamp in Paris. Yeah, that's a pretty bad album cover. Ugh. James Brown, Reality. I don't know. I would like to have that album cover. It's weird. If I found that cheap, I would buy that. I'm not going to say that's horrible. It's just weird. I always thought this album cover was pretty. I did read a little bit, and it was like, I don't want to look up David Crosby's nostril. I don't know. I always thought that was a very pretty cover, and I'm going to say I disagree with that. Lil Flip, the leprechaun. It's based on Lucky Charms, right? I think that has a kind of charm to it. It really does look like the cereal box. I'm going to say that's funny and not horrible. I disagree with this one, too, because I had this album, and I always thought that the album cover looked really, really cool. So, I don't know. As a piece of, like, just looking at it right there, I guess you could say it's horrible, but I don't think so. I also have this one. And even though it's like a collage or pastiche, I kind of like that album cover. Kim at This Is Music was just talking about this album cover. Anthrax. That kind of low, I don't want to say low talent. Like, basically, it looks like somebody in the band drew that. But it fits that type of music. I think it just goes along with that kind of thrash ideal. And for that reason, I'm going to say I disagree that that's one of the worst album covers ever. Leo Sayer. I mean, there's so much worse than that. He's like jumping in the sky. I think that's a pretty good album cover. I'm disagreeing a lot. Okay, this one's bad. As much as I'd like to see guys with their shirts open, yeah, they could have done so much better. And you know what? That looks yacht rock. And they are not yacht rock at all. That misrepresents the music on this album. They look like Bee Gees rejects. Okay, that one's just freaky. That's just freaky, Van Halen. But as the worst ever, I don't know. Like, that's not horrible art to me. It's just freaky. Okay, that's horrible. That's a horrible, horrible album cover. We're almost done. 19. This one I've always wondered, like, nothing is really wrong with this except the expression on her face as if she's a robot. And everything is being done to her and she has no emotion and no control. This art piece makes me think a bit. And so for that reason, I'm going to say it's not horrible. Oh, I have this one. This is absolutely awful. I have this album. The next one is Saved by Bob Dylan. Nope. I like that art. I'm going to say nope. That's not a horrible album cover. Cucumber Castle. First of all, why is it a cucumber castle? That's pretty bad. Yes. Okay, I'm going to say this is a horrible album cover. Why? Because they had Roger Dean art on so many of their albums. And then to get something like this instead of Roger Dean art? No, that's a horrible album cover. Even if it does have a man's naked butt. That's horrible. That's just like weird and scary. Looks like, yeah, it's like AOL or something. It's just, okay, what's this? Okay, now this is truly, truly bad album covers. I mean, look at, why are those there? What are they supposed to represent? I know what they look like. Like, just, does he think that's sexy? Okay, that's just so weird. Oh my gosh. Disco Train by Donny Osmond. I'm going to say that is so awful it's good. I would buy that album in a heartbeat. He looks like a poor man's Elton John. Oh, Donnie. I saw him once doing Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. Okay, this one is just freaky. Number 10. Tarzan. And I guess he's called Black Tarzan. His face is like changing. Okay, that's a really bad album cover. Okay, we have 9 more. Dolly Parton. You know what? This is weird because I've never seen this album before. And Bubbling Over by Dolly Parton. I'm going to say that's a very bad album cover. Three Dog Night. First of all, like, what kind of creature is on that operating table? That's just a weird... I'm going to say that's a bad album cover. I admire how much work went into making that album cover. Yeah, I never liked that album cover. But I thought, to me, it was just because, you know, I'm not into that type of music. And maybe the art is going in a new multimedia direction. I don't know, but personally, I never liked that album cover. Okay, this one is freaky. I've never seen that either. Aretha Franklin. And she's like hanging upside down on her own face. Okay, this is horrible. Ted Nugent, Love Grenade. I've never seen a copy of that. No, that is just, no. Horrible. bad. That is really, really bad. Creed. I'm going to say this is pretty bad too. Yeah, number 3. Number 2. No, I like this album cover. I think that's pretty cool. I mean, I like mythology, so I disagree with number 2. And number 1, that's really bad. Limp Bizkit. And this one always like looked like they were thrusting an anus at you. No, I hope you stuck around for those. What do you think? It's the Rolling Stone 50 Worst Album Covers.